Yes, this is Igor. I am coming at you from from the coast, actually, from the coast of Bulgaria. We just checked in just in time. It was a really long drive. The country only has 5 million people, but the driving, you had to do some serious driving. Will rival, the west coast of the United States. So if you can hear me, give me a quick one in the chat, and let me know. Let's take a look. Yep, okay. Audio is loud and clear. Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. Sweet. All right, so if you guys are excited, and you should be excited because today we're gonna talk about a topic that I don't think we've ever talked about before. It's not something that I personally excel at, but I am bringing you somebody who's pretty much the best in the world when it comes to this stuff. When I think of my guest today, the guest that I'm bringing today, when I think of him, and I've known him for quite some time now, ever since the moment when I first saw him online, um, I've always thought that like the impression that I've got was it was kind of like if Eminem was doing internet marketing, you'd get Jamie Lewis, you'd get our guest today. And because he brings his own flavor to everything he's doing, and he's doing it well too. Eminem is widely considered to be the goat of his industry. Sure, there's some people will argue, but no one can argue that he's at least in the top two, top three. So when it comes to domaining or domain flipping, Jamie Lewis is the goat, period, which is why I wanted to bring him on. So I won't ramble much more. Instead, let me bring him out because he is as insightful as he is entertaining. So, Jamie, you there?
I'm here, brother.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Cool, cool, cool. You gonna come on camera or do I turn my camera off?
Yeah, what's ever clever. Let me see here, just so you guys can see me for a second. Hello. Hello, everyone. And with that being said, let me show my screen, if that's cool.
Yes, sir.
And I got a lot of things to actually, go to webinar. It lets you focus in on either your browser or preview, et cetera. And so that's what I'll do right now. And we're going to be talking about this today. So let me try to, I guess you guys can see that on the screen where you see all day long.
Yep. Yep, we can see it. Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, so let's get started. Everybody can hear me okay? Like audio's good?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, guys, is something that me and my members and students have been really on cloud nine lately, because the last 2 months we started finding domains that you could buy for $10 and you could flip for $1,200, and that's kind of unprecedented because usually it would be like we'd sell them for $400. So something happened where we were able to really ramp it up and start doing some numbers like that. So let's talk domain names. All right. So you guys know what domain names are, right? Hit me up in the questions box. Howard, Maurice, Anthony, Gay, Francis, Judy. Thank you guys, Martin. Thank you guys for the communication.
Jamie, for those of us who don't know, like for example, I'm like pretty advanced when it comes to online stuff, but I always thought
Yeah.
that domain flipping is like it's been around for a long, long time. So it's definitely like one of the most ancient things that people have done. One of my best friends been, buying and selling domains for a long time. I've always thought it's
Yeah.
like too late. You know, it's like
Yeah.
all the great domain names are gone. You can't like get near anything good for less than, 25, 50K. So how is it possible that your students are like finding these $10 domains and turning them into $1,000 paydays?
Um, I stumbled onto it. Of course, I've been doing online marketing since 2004, but I stumbled onto the phenomenon of buying a domain for $10 and flipping it probably like 2015. And it went through, like, my understanding of it went through different stages. And when I started really focusing in on that and teaching it, alongside a lot of other business models, which I was going to touch on, um, students started to report back some stuff that helped me learn as well. And that's the sweet spot that we found. That's where domain names are available. Um, the $10 domains that are available can sell for now about $1,200. So as you can see on the screen, guys, like, you can't really find domains, that are going to sell for 1.5 million, et cetera, like hurt.com sold for, right? So those types of domains you can't find. I mean, you could, but you'd probably have to spend a lot of money to obtain them, right? So we're not talking flipping like that. We're talking like $10 domains that are available. So if you can find those that are available, you're probably going to sell them for like around $1,200. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like, and I'll jump into, I'm probably going to answer every single question. Because I've heard a lot of it. Like, I do 2 webinars a week with my members and students, and I get a lot of questions, like from people who are actually making money selling domains, and they're good questions, but a lot of the time I'd say my main theme is don't overthink it, because for instance, it's going to be that sweet spot no matter what. The hard part is really finding them, and that's what I'll get into. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, as you guys probably know, there's been some really big domain name sales lately. And again, this is a little bit different. It's not going to be, we're not selling things for $1 million, but that happens all the time. In fact, there's some domains that are like $10 million domains, like diamonds.com, et cetera. You know what I mean?
As I was planning to move to Bulgaria,
Yeah.
I actually looked into Sofia.com, which is like the name of the capital city here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like $500,000, and I was seriously considering to actually go and get it, and
Wow.
instantly have like the street cred of the guy who owns the city.
Yeah. Like one word domains like that, .coms especially, you're going to be multiple 6 figures. You know what I mean? Like .nets, and again, I'll jump into it, but .nets, you'd be looking at like 90% off. It's like a 90% off discount sale. So the same word, the .com, if it's .net, it'd be like 90% off. I'll get all into that, the extensions and everything, but something I wanted to tell you guys is which is so incredible to me, is like, through the years, I started teaching this in 2010. I started teaching online marketing in 2010. And that was after 6 years of doing like musical products, like music products on ClickBank. And so during that time when had the musical products, I had affiliates. And so I learned a lot of internet marketing and affiliate marketing from my affiliates, like learning where they would get traffic and how, you learn a lot as a vendor. So I started teaching affiliate marketing, internet marketing, around 2010. So through the years, I ended up, asking the questions box in my webinars, for instance, like, hey, what can I help you guys out with? What are you doing? And they'd be like, well, I'm doing I got a Shopify store, or I got, it'd be all over the place. And so I would give advice and I would train and I would teach like these types of models. And so through the years, I found that I was teaching about 27 different business models. And that's what you could see on the screen right there. It's like staircase, right? And so I always thought of agency being the easiest or the fastest, et cetera. It doesn't take any money to start a little micro agency, et cetera. And or like YouTube launch jacking or SEO, email marketing. Like we've all heard of, making money in different ways, right? So what was funny is through the years, I came up with this staircase type of system where domaining ends up being stage 2, like level 2, right? So it's like agency is the easiest, like kindergarten. Domains is like first grade, ebooks second grade, TikTok third grade, fan page fourth. You know what I mean? And so this is basically modeled by my students. Like my students reported back, like told me what was working. Oh, I sold a domain. I made an agency sale. My ebook is #1 on Kindle, etc. Right? So I found that if you go by this, like, and you kind of adapt to students and you say, like, hey, what do you guys tell me about yourself, etc. You can kind of figure out what stage somebody is at. You know what I mean? So domaining is actually, in my opinion, and it's pretty much fact, like what I've seen from my students, domaining gets the second most testimonials, like success stories, results, because it's so easy, cheap to get into, doesn't cost a lot of money to get into it, and then you can make a lot of money from it. You know what I mean? So that's really important to go over first, because people are like, oh, is that a like effective way of making money, etc. It's like the ultimate side hustle, and it's also like a backbone of all creativity online. So if you're going to build something, SaaS or your own product on ClickBank or launch something, that's the first stage, is you think up your brand name. You know what I'm saying? So domaining is something that we not only make a lot of money with domaining, but it's also something that's really fun to do. It's like, for instance, collecting baseball cards. Like a lot of the time, it's something that me and all my members, like all the people in my Facebook group, for instance, like we're just crazy about domains, and we enjoy it. You know what I mean? So, of course, we are using mainly Afternic nowadays to make domain sales. All right. So we talked about like, hey, we're going to be, and I'll explain a lot more of that, the $10 to $1,200 and what type of domain will, we can achieve that with. But, we don't, a lot of the time we don't use Namecheap or Sedo or anything like that. A lot of the time we're just using Afternic, where they had joined GoDaddy. Like GoDaddy, who you guys have probably heard of GoDaddy, like they have like the Super Bowl commercials and everything. They got together with Afternic and they kind of bonded or merged together. So the GoDaddy, when you list a domain for sale, you're actually using Afternic nowadays. It used to be different. Like for instance, if I can show my browser really quick, in my email, this is my actual email, you can see it used to be called premium listing, right? And so this was like all the way back. This is like every domain sale I've done since like 2016 or something, right? Like just like dozens and dozens of them. And they used to be called premium listing. So I was able to find this in my email by typing in your premium listing just sold, right? And then it comes up like this. Like if I typed in like Afternic, well, I actually have this other email for all my Afternic stuff. Like you'd see like these are actual domains I sold. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, congratulations, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the time, guys, it's freaking crazy. A lot of the time you don't even plan on selling stuff and it just does. It's freaking nuts. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that, guys, that really quick. Maybe like it'll, inspire you or whatnot. You know what I mean? I'm really like a cheerleader for this business model. I really am, with the domaining. So yeah, it happens all over the place, guys. It's freaking king. It's like, again, we do a lot of other business models, right? But this is like something that's like foundation of, everything online, So here's the recipe, guys. All right, and this is exactly what to look for when you're looking for a domain that you can sell. All right, so first of all, you're looking basically for like an adjective and a noun. So it'd be like yellow pencil, right? Or quick delivery. All right, so you know, and you can also think of it like a verb and a noun. So you could have, I think, quick. No, a verb would be like jump, you know, or like action. So it'd be like running fast or something, right? So an actual thing, right? This is a good example of one that sold actually. It was call online. So that's like a verb and a noun, right? And then the next thing that we want to think of is like, is somebody actually searching that term online? That's one of the really important things. Like if you're going to flip domains really quick, it's are people searching it? And so it helps to have those stats to be able to see those stats of how many people are searching that actual keyword, right? So are people searching call online? Do they go to Google and type in call online, right? And so usually the amount of searches that we want are like 10,000 to 500,000. You know what I'm saying? And then the next thing, and this is pretty much it. I want to simplify it. Don't overthink it. Monetizing the domain, right? Is it monetizable? You know, what's the monetization? So for instance, that example I gave in the beginning, like the yellow pencils, that actually wouldn't really be a very good monetizable, you know, there's not a lot of money in there. So why this is important, you know, pencils, for instance, it's like $2, right? Why this is important is, say you have 2 domains, and you're looking at a list of 2 domains, and you're like, should I get topless contest or should I get call online, right? Well, they both have, say they both have the same amount of searches, they both have the same extension, right? Which one costs more? So like, for instance, if you had like bicycle.com versus pencil.com, and say they both get 500,000 searches a month. Well, bicycle costs more than pencil. You see what I'm saying? So you have to think of that as well. So you're not only like making sure it's correct English language, you know, 2 or 3 words, right? Spelled correctly, no cutting corners, you know, no incorrect English, 2 words backwards or something, none of that. Correctly, you know, exactly how you would say it. That's the king, right? And again, we're probably not going to be finding a heck of a lot of .coms. We'd be finding stuff like .net and .org that are 2 words, they mean something, and those are the ones that we're going to sell for like $1,000. All right, but that's pretty much the whole recipe. All right, so you guys are you following along? Tell me in the questions box if you thank you so much, guys. You're very kind. Yeah, guys, I've really get into this domaining thing. It's like sleep, breathe, eat domaining, or whatever you call it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Cool. So you guys can follow along. Cool. All right. So guys, this is an example. This is an actual example. And the proof is in the pudding right there. That's a screenshot from GoDaddy. And how on earth did we freaking find that, right? So those are the types of domains. They're hard to find. Like usually if you were to go to GoDaddy and type that in, it's going to be a little tricky to find something like that. You know what I mean? But that is actually a domain that's a buyer, right? If you were to flip it, a buyer could create. It's very self-explanatory, right? It's like a bodybuilding blog or something, or a bodybuilding Shopify store. So it's very obvious of what the end result of this domain name is. You know what I'm saying? And again, think of it like you're collecting. It's like you're collecting baseball cards, right? I also make an analogy of it's like kind of like playing poker. And so of course, like some people have a crappy hand, but that crappy hand might beat someone who has a crappier hand. You know what I mean? But I'm not really a card player, so I don't really correctly make that analogy, but you know what I mean. So those are the quality of domains that are probably the best you would ever be able to find for, you know, $15. I don't think I put my coupon in. Yes, usually I'm buying things for $10, but you get my drift, right? So also something that you guys are going to see, I'm going to play you a demo video. I have a video actually I'm going to play. And just so you understand why those blue lines are there, I took this screenshot from the video, and that same video, I had parts of it on the internet in front of thousands of people. I get a lot of views on YouTube and everything. So I will actually show you guys actual domains, and heck, you might even want to grab a couple. But for this, for these screenshots, you'll see those blue lines, and it's really, I explained it again in the video, just so people aren't like strangers and people on YouTube aren't grabbing them. You know what I mean? It's for all of our benefits. But yeah, here's another example. Remember we saw lift weights? Here's another example, fineleather.net. So again, you know what that is. It's spelled correctly, 2 words, right? The keeping to that recipe. It's why it's important for me to explain this is underneath there, whether it's a drop list or whether it's software, whatever you're using, underneath, you know, you'll have a few other domains, and a few of them might not be as good. So you look at it, you're like, I don't like that one. I don't like that one. Be critical of it, you know? But again, if you see something like that and you say to yourself, I know what that is, and I actually know what the end result of that domain name would be. You know what I mean? So hope you guys are learning from that. This is very, very freaking cool. All right. So with comparable sales, right? You know, people always get things appraised, right? Like same thing with jewelry, right? You get a ring appraised, et cetera. You get domain names appraised. And with these systems, like with GoDaddy, et cetera, they'll offer it's an automatic appraisal. You know, say, hey, domain is worth this or that. And there's also this industry standard called estbot.com, which does automatic appraisals. But something that is much, much better than appraisals are comparable sales. And so the reason for that is appraisals, the automatic ones, they're like robotic, right? It's done by a robot. And a lot of the time, you'll see they're using incorrect comparable sales. The robot will be. So if you have like the human touch to it, you can see there's no arguing with this. There's no debating this, right? Finewatches.net did actually sell for $2,660. And again, the robots, they make incorrect assessments. They'll be like, oh, well, comparable sale, but that's not really a good comparable. This obviously, right, was a search we did for fine leather. So we're like, how much is fine leather really worth? Let's do a search for fine and then a word, right? So here you can see finewatches.net, right? Sold for $2,660. Finetouch.net, which I'm not really a fan of, right? What does that mean? If I saw finetouch.net in my software or in a drop list, I probably wouldn't be very impressed. But I'm kind of a hardcore critical thinker when it comes to domains, right? I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. But it still did sell for $500. You see what I mean? So finehome.net sold for $2,600. I mean, you can't make this up. It's freaking amazing, right? So, you know, we did fine leather. Well, there's whiteleather.net sold for $588. So the proof is in the pudding when it's these are historic things that happened. You know what I mean? And again, we human beings, we're always going to be better than, you know, the robots. But
Isn't that a little bit like the real estate market? Like when you're selling your house, right? You're looking at the comparables in the area, and that pretty much dictates your price, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the only difference is with domaining, sometimes a domain could be worth more to somebody. Like, remember you were going to buy Sophia.com? That was the one, right? That's the capital?
Yep.
So that's worth more. That could be worth more to, like, if, you know, I'm a musician,
Can
right?
you
So if I
imagine if
found,
my name was Sophia and I was moving to
right.
Sophia?
Yeah, like I bought jamielewis.com, right? And that was $5,000 or something. That's not worth $5,000, but it's worth it to me. That's my name. You know what I mean? So that's another cool thing with domaining, and I'll get into that. I'll maybe touch on that, not so much, but I maybe touch on that a little bit later about how when you get on the phone and you call, like lawyers, for instance, or pawn shops, and you've got their domain, you know, you've got their area plus pawn shop. Again, that's not worth too much to somebody else, but it's worth a lot to that person because of what it could do for that specific person. You know what I'm saying? You guys understand what we were talking about there? Yeah. So Donna says, I thought .com was more sought after. Absolutely. Well, .com, and you know, like the poker analogy with cards, .com is like the ace. You know, it's like the end all, like best extension that you could have with a domain, right? But you know, let's get real. You're not going to find finewatches.com, because if you did, it would be 10 times, it would be 26,000. You see what I'm saying, Donna? So it'd be 20, you know, it's not, so we're finding stuff kind of in that range. That's what's available. Those are the ones that you could find for 10 bucks and then flip for a couple $1,000 bucks. You know what I mean? So I hope I answered your question there. Yeah, so let me go back here. All right. So more examples of comparables, and this is a case study that we did. All right, I hope you guys are going to get a lot out of this one, because this is crazy method to making sure that you get a lot of money for something. Again, Estabot right there, the robot. Usually you do a search and it messes up the comparables, right? And then it doesn't give you a good appraisal based on that. So we do it manually, right? And then, you know, if we want, I think the example was somebody had office. What was the domain name? My student had like a chair domain name, right? So we were like, all right, let's look up cheap chair, office chair, until we find one that's, you know, we found one, officechair.org, 17,000 based on a comparable sale, right? Sold for 17,000. We're like, bingo. So if the robots tell us that officechair.net or oh, you know what it was? Computer chair. So if Estabot tells us that computer chair is worth $20, then we're like, well, officechair.org, same extension. The only difference is office computer, right? 17,000. So now we can go on the marketplaces. We could be like, hey, we got, you know, buy computerchair.org for 10 bucks, and then say, hey, officechair.org sold for 17,000. We got the next best thing, computerchair.org. And that's just like real estate, like Igor was saying. Bam, you're gonna all of a sudden have a really good chance now of, you know, it's a selling point. You know what I'm saying? And it dictates the value. So again, as I was explaining with Afternic, right? That's how we flip these domains. This is what's going to look like in this is my actual Afternic account for the week or something. Those, remember that? Sold toplesscontest.com, domainprogram.net, bigcommissions.net. These are the types of domains you're going to be selling. Domain program, right? Big commissions, right? 2 words, actual things. You know what I mean? And again, not going to touch too much
Hey,
on
Jamie,
it
can I
today.
chime in 2 seconds? I wanted to make it clear to the audience, to our students, is that so part of what I teach in the program is how to pick your own domain name, because you need your own domain name to have your own email address, so you look like a professional. So when you apply for affiliate offers to vendors like yourself to promote them, the vendor looks at you and doesn't think you're a noob, but rather says, okay, this person's professional, I'm going to approve them and give them an affiliate link. Now, what we're talking about here, guys, again, I'm pretty sure you already understand that, but just in case, this is domain flipping, which means you're not buying domains with your own name for the purpose of like building a store on it or running affiliate offers on it. This is purely flipping. So think real estate. You buy a property, you flip the property. You make money on the difference. Now the real estate though, that's like difficult. You need a lot of money, you need capital, you need to do renovations. There's like all kinds of crazy laws and taxes and counties and this and that. So I've never been a fan of that. Too much work for very little payoff. Here we're talking about buying a domain for 10 bucks, flipping for 500, buying it for 10 bucks, flipping for 1200, buying it for 10 bucks, flipping for 400 bucks. Literally talking like, you know, fast flips, no work, literally passive. And even if it takes you a week, 2 weeks, a month to flip it, it doesn't cost you anything other than the domain purchase to actually have it. You can buy it today for 10 bucks, forget you own it, have it listed on sale, just forget about it. And then a month later, all of a sudden, get an offer for it for 2 grand. And you didn't do anything at all. You didn't manage anything, you didn't pick up the phone, you didn't email anyone. It's purely passive just because you own it. So this is a different money-making strategy to make passive income or nearly passive income from what I teach. But I think it's something you should definitely be aware of, at least, if not use for yourself, because it doesn't require huge capital. It doesn't require, insane, IQ or anything like that. And as Jamie's going to be showing soon, he's got like a super tool that makes it like incredibly easy. So I just wanted to make that distinction because based on the comments I've seen in the chat, I don't think everyone understood what was going on here.
Yeah, the distinction is pretty important, because I see a lot of that as well. Like people say, hey, how do I flip this domain? And they show me a brand name. Now, that's cool for brandbucket.com, but those aren't really the types of domains we're finding. Like again, it has to be like an actual thing. So it's just for the different purpose. So I've been pretty active also selling domains that I developed on. And so here's some examples like that screenshot. It's a bunch of different things. There's an eBay sale there. There's a Flippa sale, 6-figure sales. And then to the right, that's a screenshot of my escrow account, flipping, whole websites. And so why that's important is we have this stage process, like this multi-stage process, and it looks a little bit like that. You start off on the left, where you have just you buy a domain, $10 domain with GoDaddy, and then you flip it with GoDaddy. And we're doing now, thanks to AI, $1,000 sales. The next thing you could do, of course, if you don't sell that domain or you have trouble selling it, then you can step it up a little bit and then add like a logo to it and kind of start to develop on it. And that's what we call starter sites. And you could flip those on Flippa probably up to about 5,000. So you put it on there, for instance, like for 5,000. I've seen crazy results from that. Like a huge percentage of the sites that we list, starter sites, 80% of them end up selling. I mean, if not during the auction, afterwards when people start emailing you. So again, like you start off with that domain, you buy it, first 48 hours, if it doesn't flip, then you can kind of move into other, just make sure that freaking domain sells, right? In the beginning, you don't need to do much at all. Then if it doesn't do it, then we move on. And then the next stage would be develop on it and then, get it ranked in the search engines, et cetera. And then it starts to make money. Then you can flip it for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? The next thing you could do, and this is really for somebody who has an entire business, is you can list it with a broker. And that broker will get you like 2 years, 3 years worth of revenue. So if it makes like $1 million a year, you could sell something for 3 million, but that would only be with a broker. If you list it on Flippa, you probably only get like 10 months or something. All right. So here's some examples of students and the types of domains they're selling. Again, I'm pretty critical of domains, aren't I? I'm always saying it has to be this, it has to be that. Look at this screenshot of what Bruria did. I'm not a fan of the domain freshfumes.com, fresh fumes, but it sold for $2,500. She's always doing this. She came into my, I think, into my class about 3 years ago. And then Kimberly, here's another example. She sold something, repair for free, right? You can kind of see the theme there, like where this is going. $317 for that. Repairforfree.com. You know, again, not as good as the fine leather and lift weights, etc. But here's from my Facebook group another example of somebody who bought a domain with a coupon for $1 and sold it for $32,000. So we've got like hundreds of students reporting things like this. You know what I'm saying? Like just using that algorithm. You know. And then with that being said, I do want to show you what this guy here, John Bennett, is talking about. And with that being said, let me show you guys this video. Can I show them this demo video? Because it's really good, guys. It's really good video where your attention span, right? I mean, like it would take a while. I think it's time lapse through the video, and it goes about 7 hours. It's about 7 hours compacted into like 5 minutes. So it's like a 5-minute or 10-minute video, and it's going to do just that. So let me select it here. All right, here we go. What's up, guys? This is Jamie Lewis here, and last night we finally finished our AI domain software. We finished it last night, and so I woke up, crack of dawn, got my morning coffee, and here's the exact time. 6:11 it says, May 29th, 2024. And let's get started. What we're gonna do is we are going to find some goldmine domains and attempt to sell them online. We got the camera rolling. We're gonna make sure we get everything on tape. Let's jump in. Let's commence this case study of the century. All right, let's go. We are looking at the Prime Domains software interface. We're gonna use some predefined prompts here. All right, so we're gonna select these and let's click on the button. So as you can see, the AI is searching for the domains right now. It's scouring the net, trying to find domains that fit our algorithm, that fit our requirements. B, domains that have just expired and are appraised at a good amount. That's using Estimabot. It's starting to come up with results, as you can see. So we just want to let it think and go through this process because it's gradually adding them, as you can see there. Just one after the other. They are absolutely incredible. Look, we had to blur out the names because we want to keep the format, the formula, top secret. Our algorithm and those prompts that we're using, we worked really freaking hard on it. And as you know, there'd be so many eyeballs on this. Before you know it, everyone else is utilizing our algorithm just by seeing the results here. They are absolutely incredible. It's blowing my mind. And AI is still searching. It is still doing its job, finding dynamite, gold mine, absolute pure beauty right here. We're gonna purchase a couple of these domains and then we're gonna list them for sale. And this time we're gonna do it for 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 and see if we could sell them right away. So when we click on the domain, it gives us these options. All right, we can further look at the appraisal report, check who is, etc. Or we can click on register, right? So when we click on register, it goes to GoDaddy. As you can see, that brought us right to GoDaddy and our domain is available, right? So we're gonna click on make it yours. Now let's purchase a couple other ones too. I wanted to do 3 or 4. Now I saw this one when it came out right away. So I'm gonna purchase this one. Let's see if they sell. Let's list them for sale on Afternic, which is what GoDaddy uses. Once it's in your GoDaddy account, all you do is click on at the bottom here, list for sale, as you can see right there, and then you just put in your price. All right, so we'll do for this one, 1,500. All right, let's put in our price, 1,000. All right, let's put in our price, 1,200, publish listing. Awesome, that's how it's done, guys. Okay guys, so right now what I'm doing is I want to get some eyeballs on the listing. So I am
posting on the marketplace. All you have to do is enter the name of the domain listing on Afternic, and the price, right? And now you're going to get some extra eyeballs advertising the listing. That's it. It's very, very simple. Other than that, if it's a drop domain, we get eyeballs directly from the drop list because it's very fresh. People are still looking through that drop list. You're getting extra advertising here. Remember, we're selling these domains at a wholesale price. And what I mean by that is we sell it for $1,000 or $2,000, but the buyers, they'll turn around and they'll sell it for $10,000 or $15,000, and they'll get on the phone and they'll call companies and all that stuff. That's stuff I don't do. We don't do that. So after this, that's it. It's just going to be a waiting game. I'll turn the camera back on if we get a sale, right? So who knows how long it's going to take. It should be good though. The names are dynamite. So hopefully we'll get a sale and we'll get it on camera for you. It finds the domain, and that domain is also an expired domain that just dropped. And that is very, very important for quick sales because we don't want to be sitting on multiple domains and just wondering if they're going to sell or not. We want some really, really good results very, very fast. And so therefore, the people looking through the drop list, they'll see the domain and they'll purchase it. So that was the idea behind the software. So guys, what was even funnier was in that Afternic account that I was using, that's a new Afternic account, and I hadn't used it. I hadn't logged into that email or seen any of the notifications. I'd been posting on Flippa. I actually did those 4 or 5 sales on Flippa. As you guys can see, it's all public stats and everything, and also in the webinars I was telling you about it, remember? But this was a new account, and so when I logged into that email, I wanted to make sure that the payment stuff was working and everything, right? Because I was like, oh, I'm actively going to be purchasing and posting on Afternic. So I changed the payment stuff, but then I see in the account and in the email that I'd sold a bunch of domains in there, and it was the type of thing where they didn't have the payment. So they kept emailing me like, hey, we have this money to send you. That was just a fluke. When I listed the 2 domains for sale in the past, I just clicked on list for sale like, I don't know, maybe I was like showing people how to do it on a webinar or something. Like, it's like unintentional money being made. It's like you don't have the intention to make money and you end up making money. This is the only situation that I've ever experienced that online is with domaining. It's almost like there's this crazy demand for something that you can get in another dimension. And I'm going to start sounding like I'm a pothead at a music festival or something like that. But no, this is a serious thing. Yeah, that was a true story. I'd actually sold vaginitis.org. True story. That was the domain that I sold. You can see it right there. So, okay, I'll show you guys one of the domains. All right. I think you're going to really agree that it was a good idea that I blurred out the names in blue because a lot of people will just be watching this video and then purchase my domains. There's like 10 of them. Those 10, I didn't buy all of them. I'll leave them up for you guys. I'll show you one of the domains. All right. I'll uncensor one of the domains so you can see the quality. Look at this quality. Fine leather. And then look at this one. Liftweights.net. Surprise, I wasn't pulling your leg. It wasn't like, I'm censoring the domains because they suck or something. I mean, they're really good. Look at the comparable stats. GoDaddy is telling us here domains that are similar to this one and how much they've sold for. Look at the pricing, guys. GoDaddy's appraisal has gotten much better too. Look at that. It's using comparable sales for the appraisal. So those are actual domains that sold for those amounts. And then look at the domains that we're finding. You see what I mean? Other than that, those are the only ones I'm going to uncensor because of course we don't want people just watching this video and then I get to purchase domains for free that these guys did all this work finding. Leave that up to me, the members, and my friends, you guys. Okay guys, so let's log in. I'm gonna log in first of all to my email here and we're gonna see if we've sold anything. We got a sale. Holy mackerel, we got a sale. Nice. That was quick. Get the hell out of here. We just got another one. We just got another sale. Oh my God. This is just the beginning, guys. The minute I saw those domains, I said to myself, they're gonna sell fast. Absolutely incredible. This is, without a doubt, the most powerful cash generator I've ever created. I'm going to be making millions of dollars this month with this software. It's unbelievable. I really have to be careful about where I say this online, obviously. I mean, people are going to want my head. It's going to make people so mad, the fact that I obtained this. For that reason, this is going to be extremely limited, guys. I'm not going to be showing this to many people. You know what I mean? Or not many people are going to be able to get into this. Yeah, this is freaking powerful. Holy mackerel. Unbelievable. Oh, I just got the notification and it finally sold. Guys, don't do what I did. 1,500 was too much. Took way too long, right? The more affordable you make it, the faster it'll sell. I'm still very much in shock at how good Prime Domains is. With that being said,
Yeah. So, yeah, can you guys hear me? Do you like the video? I opened up Prime Domains right now, actually, so you could see without all those blue lines, right? And I did a search while the movie was playing. I used one of these predefined prompts, the monster search. This is right now. What's great is like people obviously are using this or purchasing domains in here. And the way that the AI works is it just puts out small energy, for instance, like goes out and finds just a tiny little bit, comes back, takes a couple seconds, and then reports what it finds. So qualityequipment.org, customcars.biz, sellwatches.org, vintagediamonds.org, craziness, right? And this is only possible with the AI. Like our prompts inside here, they are pretty specific, right? Like this one, the monster search prompt is asking and it's saying, hey, get us, a verb and a noun, etc. Some of these searches like products for sale. It's just going to add what that prompt looks like is, and again, we have it hidden so people don't steal our prompts, right? But the products for sale one, the prompt is like, please give us a product plus for sale. You know what I mean? Like, and then it finds this stuff like cars for sale, bicycles for sale. You know what I mean? So you can do this as many times as you want. Like, click on that red button, and it'll just add it into here, and then you can sort from keyword or keyword search or appraisal, right? And a lot of the time we do this sorting by keyword search, shows you like this one has 113 searches, 113K searches a month, 92K searches a month, 50K searches a month, cheapwatches.biz, etc. So the way that the pricing with the extensions work is, again, you're not going to find .coms. A lot of people are like, well, do .nets sell? Like, of course, like you saw with the GoDaddy screenshot, that .nets, .orgs, .bizes, everything sells. But you're going to take off, for instance, if cheapwatches.com, right? If cheapwatches.com sells for 50 grand, then cheapwatches.net would be 5 grand, right? Cheapwatches.org would be like 3 grand. And then cheapwatches.info would be like $500. So you go like 99% for a .info, and then .biz comes a little bit before after .info, so it would be like $400. You see what I mean? So we're gonna be finding things that are like anywhere from 400 to 1,500. The $1,500 sale, it took forever to sell. And also there's like this recently added, so you will always notice that no matter what marketplace, you're going to notice like you're going to get activity, bids, sales like in the beginning and then at the end. You know what I mean? Because then at the end, like for instance, on Flippa or eBay, it's like, hey, ending soon, auctions ending soon, right? And then of course you get boosts in the beginning and in the end, pretty much. So those are pretty much the only things to worry about, pretty much. I know a lot of you guys are like, holy mackerel at the software, and so I'll show you exactly what we can do if you guys want to jump in and grab it. I'll just explain really quick what all these things are in the members area. You've probably seen that in the navigation. You're like, what the heck's all that stuff mean? The appraiser, lead generator, drop list, etc. So sounds good, guys? All right, cool. All right, so I'll explain. I'll do this pretty quickly too. You know, of course, you guys are eager. I can see that. So I'll get you guys access. So these are the elements, right? It's called primedomains.ai. That's our software that we released it 2 months ago. And the first element that you guys saw is the AI Finder, right? So that's what we are using in that video. So AI Finder software is a very big element. You know, it's SaaS, and it utilizes multiple APIs, which are like, it's a technical, I'm not really my programmer actually knows more about it than I do, but anything pretty much has an API. Like for instance, a crypto marketplace has an API that or like Coin Market Cap, for instance, uses APIs, right? It's like a connection between, you know, your version of an interface and the source that you're taking it from. So for instance, we use the APIs for the appraisals, and we're actually using the OpenAI API, right? So we're able to do, you know, utilize AI in the way that we want to use it. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty good way of explaining it. Again, that's come from totally untechnical person, you know? So then the next element is, well, you know, of course, if I go like this, we're gonna see that, all right? And there's some examples right there, like different searches, and it's our magnum opus. It's like something that we're really proud of. And again, no blue lines, did that just for you guys, as you could see there. Oh, there was the for sale search that I was telling you guys about. So again, you know, it doesn't really, you're going to notice that you'll be able to find shorter, which are, you know, better, the shorter the better, .nets, .infos, .bizes, and then when it's a .com, you'll notice it's going to be a little bit longer. You see what I mean? So that's pretty much, in 2024, that's what we are experiencing, pretty much. All right. So that's a little sneak peek, no blue lines. Sorry about that. It was really just for the, you know, because it was going to be on YouTube, but we're here with the OG Igor, and so I wanted to show you guys that. All right. So the next element is the marketplace. All right. And something that, you know, showed it in the video, but something we actually started doing, all of us, is, you know, we put in the domain name. You guys saw me do that. With listing URL, yes, sure, you can send them directly to GoDaddy. You can send people directly to GoDaddy. But we started putting docs in there, like Google Docs, and the Google Docs would list all your domains. So we started doing that, and then now we're starting to rank. We're ranking in public, which is the other side of the marketplace, right? So inside in the marketplace, you know, when you list things, you can also see everyone's listings. But the sales, they come from the external part of the marketplace, if that makes sense. Cool. This is pretty important, all right? So when it comes to expired domains, it's a little bit different than the AI, all right? Now with expired domains, we have this really clever strategy where people purchase expired domains from the actual drop list. And these drop lists come out once a day. So when you buy a domain from an expired drop list and you list it for sale for like $100, 10,000 other people are looking through that same drop list and they see a domain that pops out. Like obviously, you know, we want to buy domains like, as I was explaining, keyword domains, etc. If you list them for really, you know, affordable prices like that, wholesale prices, you'll notice they sell just without doing anything at all. Like I always taught people, I said to my students, hey guys, go on YouTube and promote your domain listings and accelerate the traffic, etc. I started noticing that students they'd buy a domain, they'd list it for sale, they'd tell me they sold it, and I'd say, how'd you promote it? Did you take my advice? They said, no, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything at all. I just listed it for sale. And that's how I started to figure out that it was because they were buying from an expired drop list and they're using my algorithm, like the type of domains that I recommend buying, and selling it for like $100 or $200. So I named that the quick grabber method, because that's kind of what it is. Now, as I was explaining earlier with you guys, these are examples of those domain names, for instance, where you would get on the phone and you could sell them for a lot more than they're appraised. So for instance, Wisconsin mesothelioma attorney, if you called up an attorney that did personal injury in Wisconsin, there's a lot of them. It's a state, right? And you said, hey, I looked up your search engine results and you're nowhere to be found, or, you know, I will help you get to #1 on the search engines. And the way I'm going to do that is I've got Wisconsin mesothelioma attorney. It gets 500,000 searches a month. I know you guys want to be #1 on Google, and I'll help you get there. Now, those attorneys, they will pay 20 grand for that service. So you're kind of like fusing an agency in with domaining. And I had this one student, he went on to become like a, you know, guru or whatever you call it, Anthony Aries. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he was doing 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. His wife was calling the attorneys and selling them, you know, personal injury attorneys. So that's a little freebie info for you guys. But it's a little harder to do, isn't it? Right? You have to do agency, sales. You have to be good at sales, agency, and domaining. But that's an example of how you can get much more that some of them are worth more to other people. And then if you fuse in, you know, other services, you know what I mean? You could be in the money. Not for everybody, but it's actually happening though. And then of course, something that comes along with prime domains is this, what I've kept mentioning to you guys, how I do these two masterminds a week. One of them is where I go through the questions box the entire time. And then the other one is presentation, where I teach you new stuff. And I also do these surveys. So this is an example of an actual survey from the mastermind. And a lot of the time I'll start them off this way, especially with new people. And it has a bunch of questions like, you know, all anonymous, you know, it doesn't have emails or anything, but I'll say, hey, what's your name? List your best domain names. And then what are your price ranges? Did you buy any of them through prime domains, etc.? And it's very helpful. So I make sure no man left behind, you know? So those are the elements. That's what I'm going to give you guys today. You know, those are the 4 main elements. Of course, there's a whole bunch of other elements, but again, don't overthink it. Come on the masterminds for real, like, and I will on that one where I work with the questions box. If you guys ask me for logos, I'll design logos for you, and I'll also do this. I'll create listings for you. This is the actual listing we did for the computerchair.org. Someone had said, you know, hey, I got computerchair.org, and we included the comparable, which we found ourselves. You know what I mean? So I will help you guys write those listings and stuff. And it's very helpful either with our marketplace or if you're going to go on Flippa. You know what I'm saying? So those are the elements. Just so you guys know, of course, it comes with a 30-day money back guarantee. And, you know, no questions asked, of course, through our retailer. Like, it's not even up to us. You go through the retailer, or you can come to us, and that's something that we we are very serious about. And that's not all. We're also going to be doing, and this is working out great for folks, is because usually if somebody doesn't have success, it's because they didn't get a good domain, right? So what we are doing for you guys is, if you don't get success in that 30 days, you might be thinking, oh, I want to get my money back or something, but we will actually buy you 10 domains. So you really can't lose. It'd be like, say for instance, 2 weeks in, you're like, oh, I haven't sold a domain yet. Then we just step in and we buy you 10 domains and we transfer them to you. And then, you could take the auto renew off, just so you're no risk, right? No risk of it renewing and then charging you. And so we send it to you for free. You list it for sale. You're gonna see we find really good domains. And also we also will ask you, what's your preference, if you want an AI domain or if you want an expired domain. So that's something else that we're doing. So that's based on the 10K is based on $1,000 sale each. So if we bought you 10 domains and you sold each one of them for $1,000, you know what I'm saying? So that's our second guarantee that we're doing. And that's our goal. We just want to do this with you guys, as I said there, all day long. All right. So yeah, so I'm going to give you guys access. Who would like to jump in right now? As you guys can see, the sales are freaking so easy. It's like the craziest side hustle that we've been doing, and just very excited to be able to give you guys this access. All right.
I mean, I
Something
really
else?
don't see how anyone can like lose here. Like, I mean, the domain flipping itself is pretty insane with the software that you have and all the cool tools and automatic appraisal. I mean, that's insane. But the guarantee is absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like I was speaking to somebody yesterday who's like a PR expert, and she was very proud of the fact that she not only teaches people how to get PR, but also does that actually for herself, and she appears on TV and stuff like that. And I believe that's important to mention that you literally do this for yourself. I think unless you would have been, unless you're doing this for yourself and you're set and secure, and obviously you're an OG in the space, you wouldn't be like offering such a crazy guarantee. And I'd say what is like a double guarantee, I guess. So not only a money back guarantee, but also like, if all else fails, I'll take over and get you 10 domains and flip them. So I think that's insane. I think anyone who's on this call today, unless they're really busy with something that is so preoccupying that it's literally literally eats up all of their time, and they can't do 10 minutes a day with this or 20 minutes a day with this, I think they're silly not to at least seriously consider what you've got here.
Yeah, it's like I guess a lot of other programs like this, very theory based or something. But I mean, when you see, I'm going to show you guys the Facebook group in a couple seconds, and when you see how many people post, I sold my first domain, and they have no background in marketing, and that's the reason why it's #2 on the staircase. So something else that I wanted to explain is that this is an $1,800 software. And so what we're going to do is today give you guys 50% off. All right. I know a lot of people were saying it's only $1,800. And of course, you saw me make that much more money than that in 6 hours, 7 hours or something like that. And again, I'll show you the Facebook group of people make their money back pretty freaking quickly. You know what I mean? But that's what we could do for you guys, is give you 50% off, because I'm here with the OG, Igor Kefetz. That's right. All right, guys. So check it out. Here is where you guys can go to get it. All right. So it's primedomains.ai/Igor. All right. And just throw it in the chat box, right? Bam. And we're going to start selling domains together, guys. It's going to be very, very exciting. Very exciting. So let me show you the Facebook group. And this is where you guys are also going to be in, sharing all your success and stuff. But it really is quite prolific. I mean, if you see this, every couple seconds there's somebody selling. You know, you see the blue Afternic, the buttons pop up and stuff. And I mean the Afternic sign, right? And this is what it looks like. This guy sold another 30,000. Another one sold for 30,000 there. Here's a $900 one. So what? How much do we have so far in this one span of time here? Probably like between that post and the other post, it's like 40 grand. This guy, 18,000, right? This is a little one, $50. I don't know what happened there. That was like quick grabber sale, you know. But yeah, it's like it's all over the place, guys. It'd be either I had this one guy sold one for 8 grand. I was gonna find, he listed which one, what it was too. Here, another one, 30 grand. 30 grand, look at that. So yeah, you guys will be joining us in there, and you really can't lose, as Igor was saying. I mean, like, you know, aside from the guarantees and everything, it's like you guys are you're gonna jump in to Prime Domains, and then you can click on the training button, which is right here. I mean, to be honest with you guys, the dashboard video is all you need. We, for a while, only had, for about a month, we only had this dashboard video in there, and that's all people ever needed. It was just 9 minutes. It's a 9-minute video. But then we added the training area. So you jump into this video. This is about finding quality domains. This is a tour of Prime Domains and how to use the marketplace. The stages of domaining, which I talked a little bit about. Using YouTube to make hundreds of sales. This is an actual example of a video I made very, very quickly, where I don't even pressure sell or anything like that on there. I just teach domaining, but I show my entire portfolio, and every domain sold from that video. That was like way back in the day, you know, 2016, 2017. And I talk about the quick grabber method, and then how to sell domains for 238,000. We jump into all those different stuff. So you jump into there, and then come to the masterminds, right? Again, how are you gonna lose with all of this kind of reinforced training and everything? And then there's over 300 webinar replays. All right, all of those different, you know, I mean, some people call them webinars, some people call them master classes, but that's a lot of freaking replays. All right, so you guys can jump into all those too, but the training, it's all organized and edited, and I really recommend it. So yeah, make sure to go to,
You know, I went through the training, JB. Like, there's really no need to watch 300 webinars or even the more extensive course you created.
yeah.
I mean, it really comes down to just having the software, running the AI prompts, having it, you know, give you a list, cherry pick from that list, get those domains, relist them for sale. There's really, it's not a coaching, I wouldn't call it a coaching program or a mentoring program. It's just go in and execute. I really don't see it as something that somebody needs to sit down and learn for a long, long time before they can take action.
Yeah, I went into the Facebook group and I was like, all right, guys, I'm getting some requests for more training videos. I was like, are you guys serious though? Like, I'm not going to do these training videos if you know, I was like, why don't you tell me what subjects you'd like? And if you guys have some good subjects, I'll tell you what, like, it's a deal. I'll make a whole bunch of new training videos for you. And they have the coolest questions. So I was like, all right, this is kind of stimulating. You know what I mean? I'm going to jump in and, you know, but I was kind of, you know, everyone was making sales before the training videos were in. There was only a 9-minute video. I mean, from the presentation, you pretty much know how to use the software. You know what I mean? Like before people even get in, they know how to use it. So it's just something obviously like before the software came about, we weren't able to find things like that. Like we weren't able to find domains like fineleather.net, etc. You know. So so yeah, guys. So what do you think? Are you jumping in? Let's take a look. Yo, in the questions box. Gotcha. So George wants to get in. All right. Yeah. So I'll let you guys concentrate. Remember, it's primedomains.ai/Igor, and access that either through the chat or you could open up a new window in the browser and jump in. And I will see you guys. Whoever gets in tonight, too. Whoever gets in right now. Training is tonight. Actually, you guys can come to the training tonight. Like it starts at 8 o'clock. We also do like pop-up webinars for folks who are like in the UK because we're like Australia, mainly like the UK because it's like that. It's like 2 in the morning or something there. So we do some other ones like in the mornings here so that, you know, we make sure everybody comes. That's why a lot of people too are ask about replays a lot of the time. That's two of the biggest questions because sometimes people are, you know, they can't make it or something, you know.
All right, guys. So what do you think of this training? Like I said, Jamie's the OG, and he came in just literally gave you the strategy. So if you were to go and try the strategy yourself, you can. You're probably going to make money with it. Just going to take you a lot more time and effort, I guess, to do the manual research by actually looking for available domains that are like according to his formulas that he shared earlier. Really, the software that Jamie created just makes it much easier, much faster, push of a button. All you have to do is just cherry pick from the list, go by the criteria of how many searches, what's the cost per click on the platforms, on the ad platforms, and just make sure it's spelled correctly, etc., and then go relist it for sale. I mean, you've seen the results they're getting. That's like crazy. How many people you know with like mastermind who can brag about so many people post consistently, be like made 1,000, made 30 grand, made $500, made 700, made
Yeah.
$50, etc. It's insane. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, it really is just bonkers. We're still in shock pretty much from, you know, the results. Like we worked on it a long time, like 8 months or something. And when it came out, we started, we fired it up. It was just insane. You know, and these guys in the Facebook group, it's just, you know, again, I teach a lot of stuff. Like in that Facebook group, I actually started it for an overall program that I had called Badass Class, and domains is just the winner. That's what drives, like, you know, teaching everything. In Badass Class, I would teach everything, and then domains is just like one after the other. Look at this, just craziness. You know what I mean? Those are some examples. Yeah, there's the 8K one, man. Craziness. Yeah, so go to primedomains.ai/Igor and we get you guys on the training. And remember, we're only doing that 50% off for a limited time. You know, obviously, like with this software, you guys could imagine our competition sells software that you know, in my opinion, isn't even as good as ours for $3,500. You know what I mean? So you know, but we wanted to give you guys a good 50% off today. You know what I mean? So you get in.
Yeah, I think that's worth every penny, especially because you cover the price of access to the software, which is a one-time fee, right?
Yeah.
You covered with one good sale. Okay, two not so good sales. and you're done, and then it starts paying for itself. I know that George has a question there, which I'm sure Jamie will address in the chat because it's about the payment processing. But yeah, guys, go to primedomains.ai/Igor. It's a 50% off for my friends and customers only, as you can tell. So if you can join tonight, secure the deal. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to guarantee this deal forever. I don't know when it's gonna end. I'm not gonna tell you, oh, it's gonna gone tonight and we'll never be back. I'm not gonna say that, but I also can't guarantee for it to be there forever. So if you need to move some money around, sell some crypto, whatever, do whatever you need to do. I know that I'm getting into this, just so you know. I was telling Jamie about this the other day. I really want to get into this with my daughter, teach her how to do it, how to get into the thing, run the software. Yesterday, I had a little bit of time as we were getting ready and packing for the day's trip to check out the system, run a few prompts, see what's up. I already have capital allocated to it. So, because at the end of the day, it's great when you have a cash flowing business because you can then go and do more stuff with the money. And you don't need to throw a lot of money at it either, right? $10 here, $20 there, anyone can afford it. Okay, if you're a true entrepreneur at heart, you can afford it. I don't care where you live or what you do, even if you're on a fixed income, you can afford it. Okay, worst case, you can put that money on the credit card. Worst case, you can borrow like a couple $100 from your friends and family and start throwing like into a few domains. You can partner up with your friends and family. Tell them, hey, I got this domain method, I got this software, come in with me 50-50 as partners. You provide the funding, I do the work. Trust me, there's at least one family member, relative, or friend, or an ex-girlfriend, or an ex-boyfriend, or an ex-husband, or an ex-wife. Somebody will say yes, I guarantee it, because everybody needs to make money in this crazy, inflated, inflation, running wild sort of world. Even in Bulgaria, these guys are feeling it. In the last like 3 to 4 years, their real estate prices, their rent prices doubled, their cost of gas, food, like there's been a lot of changes. So even if you're like absolutely broke and you literally have no cash to spare, pick up the phone, call your best friend, your relative, your mom, your dad, your kid, whatever. Call somebody, because this opportunity is not to be missed. How many times in your life have you seen opportunities kind of staring in the face? You say, no, it sounds too good to be true. And then a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, you're kicking yourself and you're like, I should have bought that property, should have built that website, should have started that Shopify store, should have gotten that course, etc. How many times did that happen to you? Don't let it happen again. It comes down to your decisions today. Okay, so I need to get going because I need to put the kids to bed. It's getting late here. It's almost 9:30. So Jamie, thank you for doing this today. Thanks for exposing your formula to profitable domain names and the price at which to flip them and exactly where you're flipping them. I think that's extremely valuable information. So I truly appreciate you revealing it. Thanks for putting together 50% off for my people. I really appreciate it. Guys, the link is in the chat, or you can go to primedomains.ai/Igor. If there's any further questions that you have, we're gonna put Jamie's support email in the chat. I'm gonna ask Jamie to do that right now. So if there's any questions you still have that you need to clear, etc., the email is support@champsites.com. It's right there in the chat. You can check it out. So to your right-hand side on your screen, there's a chat box, support@champsites.com. You can send them an email. Put in the subject line, put Igor's webinar or Prime Domains webinar with Igor, something like that, and he'll answer them. If you join tonight, by the way, you'll be able to go on a live call with him for the Badass community. So I think that's really cool and valuable because you get to connect with people in his group and hit the ground running. And remember, like I said, there's literally no sitting down and studying something for 30 days before you can take action. You can start flipping domains like tonight. Okay, literally tonight, because the software is doing the work. You don't need to sit through like a gazillion hours of video and get a PhD in freaking IT. It's really not like that. It's much more simple. And I've been telling this for the whole of past year. AI is simplifying things. This was not possible before AI. You couldn't have that software before AI. Now you can. Real-time decision making for you, compiling lists and data for you, and you're the one who gets the profit. So that's about it. Jamie, thank you, sir. Really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, I want to mention something just really quick, Igor. Like, I forgot to mention this. When you guys get in, you're gonna get a welcome email, and in that welcome email, it explains my personal email. And the reason I'm giving you guys that is I want feedback. I want to be able to help you guys personally. And again, I can also do that. I encourage you guys to actually use it too. Not a lot of people do, you know, you don't want to, I understand, no pressure, but you're going to get my personal email. And right now, Stephen, Carolyn, Gracie, Marianne, John, Michael, all you guys who've gotten in, send me an email. You know, jump into the software though. And then once you see some domains, you know, it's type of emails I love to get are like where you're like, hey, what do you think of this one? What do you think of that one? Do that all day. And then I'll see you guys on the training tonight. Remember, that's it. We're not going to do the 50% off. You know, the webinar is the only place you could do it, get it. There's like a timer and everything. And so once we're gone, it's not going to be, you know, in effect. So jump in, guys, and then we'll see you. I'll see you in the email and then in the live webinar tonight, and then I'll train you one-on-one, and we'll get really nerdy and geeky about domains together and make money together. Sorry about that, Igor. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that.
Get nerdy and get geeky and do whatever. But I just want to point out that how many people do you know who are like as accomplished as Jamie here, who actually give you their personal email and be like, hey, let's chat about domains. I just don't know people like that. Even I don't do that. And I'm like really, really, really love my community, but even I have a gatekeeper who keeps me sane. So I don't know how you do that, man. Anyway, we have to wrap up. I'm getting the look from my wife.
All right.
Thank you. Have
No
a
problem.
good one, everybody. Jamie, thank you. Guys, want to sign up, 50% off. The link is on the screen. And I enjoyed it. We're going to put up the replay tomorrow in the members area so you can check it out, get the formula again and everything. And thank you for your time. Cheers.
All right. See you guys soon.